Hello guys, my name is John Ceronio. I live in Switzerland in the Bernese Oberland. This video is going to be all about fishing and the way we fish over here and some techniques we use. It's going to be about camping. It's also going to be about some adventure. And I take you guys up to the mountains. I'm going to do some adventure up there with you guys just to show you what there's all to do. It's really fun. So hold on and enjoy. Hello guys, I'm on the Viersbaan. I'm in the gondola. I'm on my way up to Vierst. I'm going through stations Boord, Strekveld and then up to Vierst. That will be the top station. From there I have about a little bit more than an hour to walk with this heavy bag that I have. And the plan is to stop a bit along the way and I'll explain you the mountains a bit behind me. It's absolutely beautiful. Once I'm walking, I'll show you guys a bit more. Just have a look around me, how nice. That's the Eiger there at the back. here the Bach Alps there. I'll show you some mountains around us. So what we have here, hope you guys can see that. That'll be the Wetterhorn, okay? And that's at 3,704 meters. And then we get the glacier, the Obere Glacier. That's the part over here. That's the Obere Glacier. And then right on the right hand side of it, that's the Schreckhorn. Just to the right of the Schreckhorn there's a point far away. It's actually the highest. That's just about 4,274 meters. So that's about the highest. It's even higher than the Eiger on the right hand side, but which we can't see from here, but that will still show you guys. And then on the right hand side is those 2 points. That's the Vierserwand right on the right hand side. Absolutely stunning view. Have a look at that. Very peaceful. Beautiful out here. So, got my tent pitched up. Just look at that. Isn't it beautiful? You just don't want to be somewhere else right now. This is the place to be, mate. Beautiful. Got my sleeping bag out. It's getting nice and fluffy. Fire started. Got a bit of whiskey here later for Irish coffee. I'm going to make myself a nice steak. So, looking forward to this. Have a nice, look at that lovely steak, mate. Isn't it beautiful? Haha. Can't wait. That's the life. I'm going to get some water quickly with a Catadine filter. To filter some water quickly at the lake. Put a bit more wood on. This guy doesn't die on me. Thanks again to Grigo for bringing me the wood. This would not have been possible if he didn't bring it. I would have had to use the gas cooker. I'm really glad. This is wonderful. So, I can probably drink this water, nothing's going to happen to me. But just to be sure, or just to be safe, I'm going to purify it. I've got my Catadine pocket here, and this thing has saved my life many times, especially on the middle of the lake with a boat and my water runs out. This is really amazing to have. It's a Swiss product, not cheap, but absolutely wonderful to have. You get cheaper models now as well. So, I'll show you how this works. I'm going to chuck my filter, which is this end with a little bubble on here, the floating device. Not necessary now. In fact, keep that down, a little rock. On this side I've got a clever little clip, which you can clip into any bottle, and that just goes like this into here. So from that side, and all that does is you can stick that into any container. You've got a hand free then. So there we go. Got my bottle, got my filter and the water, and there we go. All I have to do now is pump. And she's blowing, mate. Look at that. That's how it works. Got one more container to fill here. Looks good. The fox hasn't been here while I was away, luckily. A bit more water in. That's life. So, got my ingredients. Got a bit of cream, a bit of whiskey, a bit of coffee, got my koekse, Nice thing about this is you don't burn your mouth. And I've got my spork. Look at that. Isn't it just lovely? Tent cozy. With that view. The small lake on the side of Bachopsee. Right on your doorstep, mate. Just love it here. Bachopsee, on the Feest, in the Jungfrau region. How beautiful, look at that. Waterhoorn, over a gletsjer, Schreckhorn, Finster Aarhoorn. That's about. Maybe you're lucky to see it under the gletsjer. It should be there. I don't think we can see it from here. This water looks just about to boil. I think that's just right. Let's make the coffee. Goodness. It's now 9:25 and it's still light. Look at the mountains. So, lucky with the light situation. Got my headlamp here, but ooh, bit more for luck. Here we go. Take my spork, take my fork off, and stir this a bit. Damn, this looks good. Ooh. If only you guys could smell this. Now, some cream. I'll get them in little packets like this. It's easier to carry. And then comes the main ingredient. Bit of whiskey. Medicine. Haha. Pop's your uncle. Not going to drink all of it. I'm going to leave some for after I've had my steak. For dessert. Oh, that can cool down now. My fire's almost ready for the steak. Almost ready. Oh, there's just certain things in love. It's just wonderful. This is one of them. Bless the guy who found that coffee. So I've got my fork, my steak. That's going to go on. Coast looks about good by now. Oh yes. Look at that. Not too fast. Too slow. I don't want it too done. I don't want to kill it. Fit for a king, mate. as well. Beautiful. I have to stoke my fire a bit. Keep the wolves, the bears, the yetis, the lady yetis, hairy ones. Keep them all away. Have a look at this, guys. This is a shad impact. Lemon haze color. Just want to show you quickly when I switch the light off what happens. Look at that. The camera's not in focus, but you can see. Glows like crazy. Now 12 o'clock at night. Standing here at Bach op Zee. Sounds crazy, but I'm going to try and fish with it in pitch darkness. So, wish me luck. Okay guys, so there's our plan worked. There's our little shad impact that glows at night. And look at this beautiful Canadian. Just look at the markings on her. She's absolutely stunning. Beautiful. I've called her already because there was one big fight to get her out of the water. But anyway, that worked. Let me switch the light off. You can actually see the worm still glowing. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to have a few more casts. Okay guys, I'm in the tent. Started getting a bit chilly outside, but the sky was so amazing. I took some amazing pictures, but I'll show it to you guys. I'm in my sleeping bag. I've got my fleece on. I'm more than warm enough, so it's absolutely wonderful. I'm very happy here. And I've set the alarm for 5 o'clock to go fishing again. And I'll keep you guys up to date. Okay, thanks for a nice day. Sleep well. Good night. That's my friend, little Yossi over there. He was very kind to bring me some firewood. As you guys see, we're above the tree line here. Absolutely no trees. A big shout out to Griegel. Thanks, buddy. So it costs 30 Swiss francs per day to fish in this lake, but believe me, it's worth it. Just for the scenery alone, it's absolutely worth it. Which for Switzerland is not really expensive. I just had a bite. Wasn't right on the bottom. Let's see if he comes back. There could be anything up there. So it costs about 30 francs to fish here, and you can get it at the Fierce barn at the top station at Fierce. You can get yourself a license, and you're allowed to keep 5 fish. Ciao, Griegel. Bis morgen. That whistling you hear there is marmots. And that's like a warning signal they give off. They're so cute. It's probably the only place they can still live up here in the Alps. It's the only place that's cold enough. In the Ice Age, they used to live in the lowlands. But with the ice disappearing, the ice melting, they came and live up here. And they basically hibernate. They don't sleep the whole time. They wake up every 2 to 3 weeks, shake their head a bit and then go back to sleep. But they're so cute, especially when they've got little babies playing around, wrestling. We've got some eagles. This probably could be their enemy. Foxes certainly is an enemy for them. Otherwise I can't see if anything else that really should bother them. They're pretty happy out here. But that's them whistling at the back there. That's not a bird. That's a marmot. Cute little faces. Woolly rodents. Oh, I love them. They're cute. You always know where the dominant male is. He just wags his tail. And then he goes and marks his territory, and the rest stands by their nest and look out for any eagles or any foxes. They give the warning when Dad walks around and marks his territory. Guys, I just want to show you how important it is to match the hatch. That's my lure swimming around the other bait fish, and you can see them chasing it. How much it looks just like them. This is a little easy shiner. It's a 2-inch on a 2.7 gram jig head out of tungsten. Have a look at that. Looks just like these little fish, like the bait fish. Chasing it like crazy. And this color is called crystal shad. Okay guys, got another swing impact 3-inch. Try and catch a trout with that. Look how beautiful she is. That's their foot battle. Lovely supper, mate. Isn't she beautiful? Look at the colours. Always a bit of movement. Let's try and make it look a little bit more enticing. I'm just jerking the rod a bit there. Come on, where are you now? Yes, gotcha! Gotcha! That's a rainbow. That's a nice rainbow. Let you go, buddy. Let you go. Look here, I've got some lady's mantle. And this is the most amazing little plant. This is the lady's mantle, and the dew that used to form on this in the morning was collected by the alchemists, and they used to mix this into their medicines and believed it had very powerful potion or powerful workings on many things that they used to make. This plant here is absolutely amazing for ladies, for any woman, old and young, who's got any problems with menstruation, even during pregnancy, even during birth, and even then later in their life. It is an absolute wonder of nature. It grows up here in the mountains, and you also get the common mantle, which is this one here, which also collects a lot of dew. Woohoo! Now we're going to do the cards.
Yay!
Good morning.
How are you?
So we're going down the mountain on this trotty bike, and that's what the trotty looks like. Absolutely great fun. Beautiful day in the Alps. We're on the beautiful Lake Atune, and we're going to talk a bit about gear. I've got my little Loomis rod here. This is my favorite perch rod, and for the simple reason it's a one-piece rod, and I certainly have the most feeling with a one-piece rod. The more sections you're going to have in a rod, the less you're going to feel at the end. If you don't have anything else, certainly every rod is going to catch perch in your garage. The thing is just that the less pieces you have fitting together, the more sensitivity you can have at the end of the rod. Okay, and then action, I like a soft tip. This is a drop shot rod, so if you guys can see, the tip is pretty soft, so I get a lot of movement out of the lure with just a little bit of twitching at the back of the hand. And for perch, that's probably the best thing to do, is to give it as much action as possible. The reel doesn't really play a role. There's some friends of mine who fishes with really big reels, and I think the larger the diameter, of course, the easier the line is going to come off. But it's more important is the line that you use. You really want as light gauge as possible. I think this is a 0.06. It is extremely fine, and for perch it's more than enough. And every now and then you have a big pike on you, and that you also manage to get out. You just have to open your break a bit and play the poor fish. The thing is just that you get so much more distance with something light. I'm only fishing here with a 2.7 gram tungsten head, okay, on this little K-Tech. I've got a swing impact 2-inch here now, which I really like for perch. It is very important that you have, I would say, a bit of fluorocarbon. That would be very good, because fluorocarbon has got the same light index as water, and basically it disappears in water. So you're really better off with a bit of fluorocarbon. You don't have to go too light, you know. You must remember there's pike around here, and if you catch one, you don't want it to break off immediately. It is really not that bad if you have a little bit of a thicker. I've got on here a 0.22 millimeter fluorocarbon, which is pretty thick, but of course the thinner you go, the less the fish is going to see it. The guides on the rod also plays a role. If you manage to get a little bit better rod, you will notice that the guides are easier and that you do get a bit more distance. So I did notice the difference between the cheaper rods that I have and a little bit more expensive with the better guides. But basically, just as light as possible. Try and go as light as possible, and try and get a rod with a little bit more action. For the people who go on holiday, of course, this is not easy, a one-piece rod. Any rod will do. You can take your little telescope rod. You're also going to catch perch, but if you're at home and you do go catch perch, try and get yourself as light as possible gear. This is really great fun to use for perch. Casting. I have a bit of my own method of casting this lure. My friends always laugh at me because I've got my... But I try to load the rod as much as possible before I let my bait go out. So most people would either hook the line with their finger and somewhere let go. I just like to pinch it lightly against the cork here, open up my bail, but I do turn the bail backwards till the point where it doesn't move anymore. So in case you do throw very hard and this bail moves during a throw, it can actually close up on you and you can lose your bait by ripping it off. So I hold it just there, I open the bail, and then I turn the bail till it doesn't move anymore, and that way the weight of your grip here is not going to close your bail for you. This way you're pretty safe. Now most people would just cast out like that, but just to get a little bit more distance, I'll show you what I do. I put the rod to the front, I'll load it, and then I cast. I just have my rod much more loaded at the back position, so I get a little bit more distance, and sometimes that makes a big difference. So I don't have my bait all the way to the top, okay? I've got it about, what have I got, a half a meter there, 50 centimeters, or about a foot. Open the bail, turn it to the back, and now I'm going to load my rod to the back. And you can see there I've got a bit more distance. So close the bail, I make sure that the line is tight, not that somewhere wrapped, and then I start. But the retrieve is very important for perch. I don't just bring it in, many people do. I like to give that little bait a little bit more action, make it look as injured as possible, because the perch like injured bait fish. That's more likely to bite on an injured bait fish than one that swims very fit past it. So I always give it a little bit of a jerk and a twitch. Sometimes this way, like I say, sometimes wait a bit and then slap it a bit. You just try and make it look a bit more injured. We're in the middle of the lake here. We're not going to catch any perch, but it's just to show. So do it again. Got my finger, just the line just pinched like that. I open the bail and then I turn it till it doesn't turn anymore. There, it can't close up on me. So got the bait in front. As you guys can see, for 2.7 grams, that's a nice cast. But like I say, it's so important to have as thin line as possible. You're certainly going to get a little bit more distance. Okay, for pike fishing, pike fishing, it's a much bigger, a larger fish, so you're obviously going to use a little bit bigger gear. I've got here my 2.4 meter rod. 2.7 is also ideal to get more distance, but basically any rod it'll do which is not too soft. You are fishing a larger bait, so you do need a little bit more distance, so you can't go too light. Okay, you want at least yeah, what shall I say, 50 grams casting weight. But basically important that you have enough line on your reel, you've got a big enough reel. I'll talk about the reel. I also have a bait caster here and what the difference is about that. I personally like to fish with a dead normal spinning reel, but when you're in a situation where you have lots of grass or so, you are better off fishing with a bait caster, because simply it handles pressure much more. If you look at the spinning reel, you have an axe in the middle here. The line does not pull from the front like it does on a bait caster. So basically you have a little arm where it goes over. So when you pull, the direction of the pull is this way, straight up. So you've put so much pressure on your axe that you keep on bending it. So if you really hit through big stumps and grass, you are going to bend this axe because there's so much pressure on it. So basically on open water this is all good. You also get a little bit more distance. Basically I do. That's debatable, but I basically like fishing with a larger reel. I've got a 4000 Ceronio here, but it is absolutely important that you have a thicker line, because obviously you're going to need that for pike. I have a bit of fluorocarbon, about 2 meters, and then I have a really thin flexonite, don't know if you guys can see that, steel trace, the first few centimeters. The reason why I've got it this long is that sometimes it does get wrapped around the fish and they manage to break it. But I have not a heavy weight on here. I only have like a 5 gram weight, but I do have a little treble hook at the back as well, also tied with flexonite, steel wire. Really thin, it's really nice. I think it's got 24 braided off. It's really a nice way. But anyway, it doesn't matter what you use, it's just important that you have some steel trace, because a pike has got such sharp teeth, it's certainly gonna bite through your line. Another thing is the bait. Of course there's many baits. I also like using the Easy Shiner. This is now a 5-inch here. At night I like to use a little bit, and when it gets a bit darker, brighter colors. This is the Lemon Haze. This is a 4-inch here. It's called the Horny Shad. This is Shad Impact. Also I like it for pike. If you open clear water, it's got much more movement if you jerk it. There's no tail at the back, but basically it really moves nicely if you jerk it. Then by far my favorite would be the Swing Impact. That's a 3.8. That's a 4.8. I've got the 5.8 here, and on the bait caster, I'll show you quickly, I have the really big one, 6.8. There's even a 7.8. There we go. So those are really big baits for pike. Now to cast with a bait caster, I guess you all know already how it works, but just to, I also like to load my rod. So basically I have a little bit hanging out. I've got my finger on the rod, and I'm going to do my famous turn there, but basically I always keep my finger just slightly on the reel, and I start braking just before it lands in the water, just so you don't get an overwind. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it really swims really nicely. Swing Impact. Show you guys what I'm putting on. Hello. Hello guys. Want to say hello to two youngsters? Two youngsters? Nice little perch. It's got it in its mouth. Perch, yeah. Beautiful little perching. Little swing impact. An easy shiner. Look at the colours. Ooh, okay. You going, mate? Huh? What's going on here? He's stuck somewhere. Oh damn, there's a pike got him. Got a perch on, and I think a pike's trying to take him. Come on. Off you go then. There's a big ship coming. Better get out the way. He's gonna hoop any moment. Give us a big fright. Big old ship. There we go. Chase all the fish away. It's huge. Dale. Gotcha. As the ship comes past, I get a bite right here. Oh, look at you. You're nice. Look at that. Thanks, ship. Very nice. That. Nothing's gonna change my world. Gotcha. Love it when they shake their head like that. Like a minion. Really cool. Come on, bud. Ooh. You're not big. Did I get you on the side? Hey, you just got tangled up, mate. You're a small one. You just got tangled up. You're a baby. If you keep quiet, I'll help you. Look at that. Beautiful little baby.